On the hill stands a huge mansion. Once it was sumptuous and bustling, home to a renowned and wealthy lineage and its many servants, but now it is an abandoned and lonely place, and in its halls and corridors only silence and decay remain. Its doors remain open, and its interior was looted long ago, but all the windows are firmly boarded up. All except one. The village elders tell in whispers, saddened and even frightened, that many years ago the opulent and decadent life of the mansion inhabitants was shattered by the disturbing and terrifying visions of an unfathomable specter, a shadowy and shapeless figure, with bright eyes and disturbing gaze, which began to be seen, with increasing frequency, by lords and servants, observing them from outside any of the numerous windows of the mansion, both during the day and at night. Such was the unease and terror that these disturbing visions caused in all the mansion inhabitants that soon any joy and any frivolity of the daily life of the sumptuous residents ceased. Lords and servants spent their days silent and sorrowful, passing in awe in front of the windows, always fearing to see once again the enigmatic and dark specter that lurked on the other side of the glass. The mysterious ghost was seen through all the mansion windows, always from inside, never from outside, except for one, a small window in the secondary hallway. At first, the owners ordered that shutters and curtains were kept always closed, plunging their splendid residence into a depressing gloom. But the sightings of the lurking specter soon occurred again, as the curtains and shutters of some of the countless windows appeared open suddenly and inexplicably, causing terror in those who saw once again the ghost whom they believed had been avoided, and the disbelief of whom was sure of having closed this window conscientiously. All kinds of priests and mediums, sorcerers and charlatans, were called by the desperate owners, in the vain hope that they could ward off the evil that seemed to have taken up residence in their home, but no exorcism, no spell, no ritual, sacred or sacrilegious, seemed to be effective. At any moment the heartbreaking screams, crying and running of someone who had seen an evil shadow in any window looking from outside could be heard. There were those who suggested leaving the mansion to escape the specter in the windows, but the owners, in their anger and arrogance, flatly refused to abandon their inheritance. In a desperate attempt to resolve that distressing situation, the lords called a team of bricklayers to cover all the windows with bricks, thus plunging all the rooms of the declining mansion into darkness. Only the small window of the narrow hallway, the only place where the disturbing specter had never appeared, was left uncovered, at the wish of all the residents of the now gloomy house, longing for the sunlight and fresh air that had disappeared from the rest of rooms. Some time passed. The specter that had tormented the mansion on the hill inhabitants for so long was not been seen again, while, for their part, they became accustomed to living permanently illuminated by candles and lamps, going out into the garden or occasionally slipping to the small window that had been left unwalled to enjoy the sunlight. The owners of the mansion even considered organizing a party again with their friends, thinking that having all the windows of their residence covered could add a certain morbidity or originality to the frivolous celebration. One day, however, a delivery man who periodically brought food and other supplies to the mansion arrived. The man was surprised that no one came out to receive him, and after waiting for a few minutes in a foreboding silence, and seeing that no one responded to his calls, he ventured to enter the gloomy house. He did not go too far into the dark rooms of the ill-fated mansion, because he found no trace of its inhabitants, but all the furniture and stuff inside were in a mess and destroyed. Terrified, the transporter ran to warn the police, whose arduous and exhaustive investigation, however, was not able to determine what had happened in the disturbing interior of that house, illuminated by the ghostly luminescence that came from the small window, open, from the upper hallway. Today, the village elders whisper, saddened and even frightened, that someone has seen, on the other side of the window, looking attentively, a dark and deformed figure with bright, evil eyes,